You've seen Harry Potter, maybe as a kid, maybe way too many times as an adult, no judgment. But I want to ask you something. When you were watching, did you ever feel like something was off? Like underneath all the magic and adventure, there was something much darker going on? Because there was. Harry Potter isn't just a story about a boy who finds out he's a wizard. It's a story about trauma, about manipulation, about what loneliness does to a person over time, and what happens when no one ever teaches you to love. So today, we're setting the wands aside. We're going to look at three characters, Harry, Voldemort, and Dumbledore, and we're going to talk about the psychology hiding just beneath the surface of this story. Let's get into it. So, Harry, the boy who lived. Here's the thing about Harry that I think gets overlooked. He spent the first 10 years of his life being told in 100 different ways that he didn't matter. A cupboard for a bedroom, hand-me-down clothes, a family that couldn't even look at him properly. That's not just sad backstory, that's emotional neglect. And neglect leaves marks. When kids grow up without warmth, without someone consistently telling them they're safe and they're loved, their brain actually adapts to that. It learns to stay on high alert. It learns not to trust. It learns to expect rejection before it even happens. And you can see all of that in Harry. Even after he gets to Hogwarts, even after he has friends and teachers who care about him, he still doubts himself constantly. He isolates. He pushes people away when things get hard. He takes on guilt that isn't his to carry. Those aren't just character quirks. Those are patterns that get built into a person when the first years of their life teach them the world isn't safe. And then there's the whole chosen one thing, which honestly makes everything harder. From the moment Harry finds out who he is, his whole identity gets wrapped up in a prophecy. He's not just a kid anymore, he's the boy who has to save everyone. And that's an enormous thing to put on a person, especially one who never had a solid foundation to begin with. Think about Order of the Phoenix. A lot of people found Harry really frustrating in that book. He's angry all the time, he's snapping at his friends, he shuts everyone out. But if you look at what he'd been through by that point, 2 near-death experiences, watching someone die right in front of him, and an entire wizarding world that keeps swinging between worshiping him and thinking he's a liar. That's not a moody teenager. That's someone who's completely overwhelmed and doesn't have the tools to deal with it. He was never given those tools. Harry spent 7 books saving the world. He never really got the chance to save himself. Okay, now let's talk about Voldemort, or more accurately, Tom Riddle. Because here's something wild. Tom Riddle and Harry Potter started in almost exactly the same place. Both orphans. Both grew up without parents. Both found out they were special and got pulled into this magical world. Same starting point. Completely different endings. So what happened? Tom Riddle grew up in an orphanage where no one connected with him, and early on, he figured out that he could use his abilities to get what he wanted, to scare people, to control people, and nobody ever stepped in and showed him a different way. Here's the uncomfortable truth. People aren't born cruel. Cruelty gets learned. It gets built, layer by layer, when someone grows up feeling like they have no real place in the world, and they decide that power is the only thing that will ever make them feel safe. Tom Riddle was terrified, not of other people, but of death, of being ordinary, of disappearing without a trace, just like he felt he almost did in that orphanage. And everything he became, the Horcruxes, the obsession with immortality, the need to be feared, all of it was just one very long, very destructive attempt to never feel that small again. Voldemort isn't really a monster, he's a mirror. He shows us what can happen to a person when they go through their entire life without ever experiencing real connection, and then are handed enormous power. That's not a comforting thought, but it's an important one. And then there's Dumbledore. Dumbledore is supposed to be the good guy, the wise mentor, the one person Harry could always count on, and on the surface, he is all of those things. But the more you look at how Dumbledore actually operates, the more complicated it gets. Think about what Dumbledore knew and when he knew it. He knew for years that Harry was a Horcrux. He knew that for Harry to defeat Voldemort, Harry would have to die. And he made a deliberate choice not to tell Harry. Instead, he carefully, patiently guided Harry toward that moment, gave him just enough information to keep moving, built up his trust, made sure Harry loved him. He even said it himself. He raised Harry like a pig for slaughter. Those are his words. Now, Dumbledore believed he was doing the right thing, and maybe, in the grand scheme of the story, he was. But here's what's worth sitting with. The road to manipulation isn't always paved with bad intentions. Some of the most controlling dynamics in real life come from people who genuinely believe they know best. They make decisions for you. They manage what you know and what you feel. They keep you close and keep you dependent, all while caring about you. In their own way, Dumbledore loved Harry. There's no real question about that. But he also used Harry. He built a relationship on half-truths, and he decided, without ever asking, that Harry's life was a resource to be spent on the greater good. That's worth thinking about, not just as a Harry Potter story, but as something that shows up in real relationships too. The people who shape us most are often the ones who care about us the most, and sometimes that's exactly what makes their influence so hard to see clearly. So, Harry Potter, a boy who carried wounds he never asked for and never fully healed from, a villain who was shaped by a world that gave him nothing to hold on to, and a mentor who loved deeply and controlled quietly, both at the same time. These stories stay with us because they're not really about magic. They're about us, about the things we carry, the patterns we fall into, and the way the people around us, even the ones who love us, can shape who we become without us ever noticing. That's what good storytelling does. It sneaks the real stuff in. If any of this hit a little close to home, good. That means it was supposed to. Drop a comment and tell me, which character do you think had the darkest psychology in this series? I have a feeling the answers are going to be interesting. And if you want more of this kind of thing, psychology hiding inside the stories we grew up with, subscribe. There's a lot more where this came from. See you in the next one.